Definitely good against everything that Keen Gaming have going for them so far. Like the cogs, Mars can't push you out of cogs. You just get stunned on the side, and Keen just straight up pick Spectre. Okay, well the dagger is gonna help you against the cogs, but Slaughter is a pretty strong laner, and Spectre could get pressured pretty heavily here. So what's the plan? Are they? What is the Spectre for? I don't understand Keen's drafting, man. I'm sure it makes sense. And maybe once we watch the game, it'll all start kind of coming together. Like Mars is a good aura carrier. Spectre, if you watch the previous cast when I was talking about Medusa, Spectre has some of that same aspect of Medusa where she, because of dispersion, works so well with buffs and auras and heals. Like she just has sort of a better multiplier of those improvements than other heroes do. So, you know, Mars naturally just going to be buying stuff like Vlad's. Kind of nice with the spec, but all right. Aster see two big tanky heroes to steal some stats from, and they will just immediately go for Slark. This looks like a good Slark game to me. And still plenty of flexibility for their mid. Like they've got some catch, they got some vision, they got some Roshan taking, they've got probably enough building damage so far. They do not have the counter pick for last pick, so that's something to be a little bit worried about. But Keen can't be too greedy with their mid laner, given that they've got Spectre as the one. At least they've got Nyx Assassin and Mars to fight a lot in the early game. This is not as greedy as that surprisingly winning Slark Cadusa Legion Commander draft that we saw from Newbie earlier, but it's still going to have to be something comparatively active, I think. TA is the ban, okay. What are they going to go for? What are the Slark counters? Like Lesh is okay, but looks like maybe kind of a hard Lesh game. What else gives Slark a really hard time? Lena used to be kind of a thing, but I think mid Lena has just sort of disappeared. People are really not interested in that hero as a mid at the moment. They're just better spellcaster mids. There's still a Void Spirit in the pool. I don't know how that matchup goes against Slark. I can't imagine it's too amazing, but he does have a lot of magical burst. But maybe not so much untargetable damage. Who knows? Enigma is the ban. Is it a silencer mid? Is that a thing? And now Aster just going for Shadow Fiend. Okay. I think the Shadow Fiend pick can work, assuming that they can get an Aegis on the man. I'm personally not a huge fan of Shadow Fiend, but he does seem to be coming back at least a little bit. And I guess okay if you just don't really know what the opposing mid's going to be. SF's always going to spam out the wave, go and farm some jungle. It really doesn't matter too much what his laning opponent is going to be. And they're going to have so much minus armor now between Presence and Corrosive Haze. So, Keen, what do they think about... What do they go to counter the Slark and to at least lane reasonably well against the Shadow Fiend? Probably can't pick anything like Zeus. Tinker also seems really rough as a Clockwork. Could Viper if they really want to be super boring about it. I don't even know if that matchup against Shadow Fiend is still good. It used to be good, but Viper's gotten a lot of changes and tweaks and nerfs and stuff here and there, and you would be pretty vulnerable to just Clockwork like walking up and killing you if you're playing aggressive on Shadow Fiend as Viper, and then Clockwork just wraps around and cogs you. You're just dead. Oh, and they've also got the Clock SF. Didn't even notice it right away. It's been a little while since I've seen it. As Keen go for Snapfire last, so it's Silencer mid? Is that the setup? Well, we'll wait and we'll see some starting items, but interesting. Because what? So yeah, Yeah, oh, SRF is their offlaner. And Mian Mian is their 4. Wait, so they have like a... But SRF is their 3, and SRF is playing Snapfire? What is going on? Whatever. Exciting times, exciting times. Oh, I didn't unmute Dota 2. Sorry about that, guys. There you go. Have some game sound. They'll just have to listen to my ramblings about this game. But I told you that Keen are weird when it comes to drafts, and they've done it. So I'm glad that happened, and I'm excited to see Keen kind of going against the grain and against the meta a little bit in this situation. But I'm favoring Aster for sure. I believe in Aster's lineup. I know how it works. I can see a very clear game plan for them. Keen, it's a little bit more all over the place, and I still just don't even know how these lanes are going to be set up. But they do actually have a lot of early game now, especially with the Snapfire getting added into the mix. Like, everybody that isn't Spectre is just going to be able to run around like lunatics and just try and get kills non-stop. None of them really need to farm all that much either, so if they get out to an early lead, then they could just coast with the 4 Protect 1. Which is kind of cool. It's not something that we've been seeing so much of as of late. But they do have to contest with Enchantress, Boboka Enchantress, and a Clockwork, which are not going to be, certainly not going to be pushovers in the early game. Both of those heroes are early game fighting monsters. Right, let's see what we got here. We got some we got some cog shenanigans happening. So getting some souls going. Snapfire starting with a Blightstone. So who's laning where? What are these lanes? So is Snap? So Snap's like off lane. Mars is mid versus Shadow Fiend. 4 Nyx, 5 Silencer. Okay. And then, yeah, of course, Spectre's the one. And so yeah, kind of unfortunately Clockwork has to get Cogs level 1 for this to work, but they do get the full 12 souls, so that is a bunch of extra damage for Shadow Fiend going into this lane. I think the Keen are kind of just adjusting, maybe? Like, they're just sending their offlaner... Oh, who knows? They're sending the offlane hero mid because they know that they just don't have anybody that can really go and contest the Shadow Fiend when he's got souls like this. Kama wants to take this bounty room.
The battle begins.
But we're going to put an end to that ambition. A nice 106 damage spear to the face. And it looks like it is just going to be your very standard 2-2 bounty rune split. Okay, well, we'll see what kind of pressure this offlane Snapfire with Nyx Assassin can put on the Slark. They're going to be contending against the Enchantress, but they got good burst. They can potentially kill the Ench. But Boka needs to be careful about throwing any spears at Nyx Assassin. Could just get quick Spike Carapace into stun into a death from Scatterblast plus Cookie. Okay, let's see how mid lane goes. I really don't think that this should be good for Mars, but at least he can CS a little bit with Rebuke and maybe push Shadow Fiend around. What's happening top? Okay, so Boboka's already been gone on. Yeah, you can see that those are some solid nukes, but he brought a lot of regen. He had 7 tangos and a salve, so I think he should be okay to sustain. Probably still going sort of the 1-2-0 build. Get some of those creeps working. Nothing blocked or anything from
denied.
From Keen.
Mix of that.
Sansa's just missing his hat for some reason. So, actually, Mars is doing pretty well mid. What the heck? Yeah, you can just skill Bulwark and the harassment doesn't really matter. Once the raises start coming out, though, like once Shadow Fiend gets level 3, surely the lane starts getting pretty tough for the Mars. That was a nice little move. Kind of made him decide between getting the range creep or getting the melee. Cheon still, of course, makes the right decision, but still a nice little bit of mid lane play from our Mars. And even if he does get driven out of lane, I'm interested to see what happens when you give a Mars this much like early farm and levels. Because he is certainly a good ganking hero and does have, I mean, his scaling is a little bit weird, but it's not bad. Maybe we're going to see Fat Mars with a Deso and an AC and an Ags just laying down the Gods of Butte crits this game.
Dogs.
Triple C wants a few more stacks, but needs to be careful.
Dire's
So what
bottom
is
tower is
Snapfire
under
going to go
attack.
for? Just kind of standard build? Yeah, picking up some Arcane Boots first. Did go for an early point in the little Shredder. The overwhelmingly popular support build recently has just been Scatterblast and Cookie. Don't even bother getting any points in Shredder. This hero has some pretty serious mana problems, though that might be mitigated somewhat by being a core this game instead of playing support. So might be able to be a little bit greedier with the skill build. Lots of harassment getting traded at the bottom, but not a ton of kill potential down here. So very, very just sort of tradey lanes, both teams farming back and forth. I still like the matchups that Aster have. Like, I think this SlarDar is going to be a real problem for Spectre, especially through the mid game. I don't even know what build Com is going to go for. Is Radiance still kind of the go-to, or are we going to see like a Diffu Manta Abyssal Blade kind of a thing? I don't know if they win this by just going late on Spectre. Kind of depends on the Shadow Fiend's build. Seems like he might be going. Oh, hard to tell. Seems like probably going pretty right-click focused. Or maybe he needs to diversify. Action at bottom, but Spectre's tanky. What do we got? Ooh, Shadow Tormentor. Pretty nice. Keen gonna have to show some respect, and they're actually going on the Slark, using some spells. Might be able to find the turnaround. SCC a little bit low, wants to salve up instead. This creep is gonna do good damage, though. Gotta be careful. Is the lane under control, though? Oh, SCC is doing his best. He's denying really hard. Yeah, you can see it. Look, as soon as the creep gets into deny range. And he's done it. He gets these two creeps back in time to kill this range creep. So the lane is going to stay in a static position. And Boboka even able to use this creep and muscle his way through to get this bounty rune. Okay, this is really good. This is like now 2 or 3 full waves of Slark getting all of the solo experience. So that's really going to catapult him towards his level 6. Boboka is completely dodging experience while zoning out the 3 and the 4. And Nyx has decided to commit to coming back to top lane. So they're going to try and fight their way through this Enchantress, who is just about to lose the creep, but yeah, Slark is farming a lot over here. Mars is doing great mid. I did not expect this matchup to be so good for Mars, but there you go. 35-5 against the 33-15, and you got to remember that like 12 of those were already just the cogs at the beginning of the game, so Mars is pretty soundly out-CSing the Shadow Fiend, or at least by a little bit. We get a little bit of luck. This is the spear completely. That's not good. There's a DD over on the other side. Fade is wrapping around looking for this kill. Pressure on the Mars, but can't quite get it. And it is actually going to be Yan TPing in to get the double damage himself. Oh, Boboka almost dead, but not quite. Gets the salve around the trees. One more auto attack will do it. Nyx Assassin, there's your first blood. But SCC gets the stack. Wins around, a bit more damage. Hounds is still on cooldown for 5, though. So we'll just end up being a 1-for-1. Nice that Keen get the first blood, but I also don't think Boboka is too unhappy with this Slark picking up a kill this early on. Silencer pretty isolated. The counter trying to chop him through the cogs. The Fade's still just running with him. And it will be XXS picking up that kill. Mars is gonna have to do a lot of work. It would be great if they could kill SF mid, but I don't know if it's possible. I gotta land the arena. Arena and they have to hit the spear, but with no setup stun. Like, he just has to walk up to him with no boots currently. Maybe he's got some boots now. And then arena and spear him. Which is not gonna be easy. Shadow Fiend is gonna be hanging a long way back. Just clearing the wave. This is exactly how this is gonna go. Okay, so where's the playmaking potential? Snapfire's now gone back up to top. Enchantress is just sort of jungling, so Aster getting more out of the map by default. Is actually rotating all the way down to bottom here. A little bit low on the mana for the Spectre. I think if Fade gets the Cogs burn, no, they won't go be able to trap it. Next success just wraps around the Cogs. Got a lot of lockdown. This is decent damage. Another impetus coming through, and does force out a TP from the Nyx Assassin, so SCCC, less pressure on him up top. He's already got his 6, so this harassment and Snapfire are not really going to amount to too much. So what else is going on here? Mars plus Snapfire is kind of a cute combo. You get anyone trapped in the arena and then just decimate them with orbital bombardment. How else could Aster be? How else could Keen be choosing to spend their time right now? You can tell that they are so hungry for this Shadow Fiend kill. They've just come and dewarded mid pretty heavily to make sure that Chion is playing blind, but even with that, they can't seem to get this kill on him. He's trying to dodge the spear, still dodging, finally gets it. Is it going to be enough damage? The Cogs are here. Nice stun from the Nyx Assassin though. Shadow Fiend still surviving. Gets a few auto attacks out, and Kama actually will pay for this with his life as Aster emerged with everybody. 3 heroes TPing, arriving at the mid lane, and not the clean gank that Keen were hoping for. Sucks to lose the Shadow Fiend like that. If it had a point in the Requiem, I think he could have maybe gotten it off. But
is under attack.
Also makes sense why he's gone for the build that he has. And Aster starting to take the net worth lead. Okay, so good that they managed to use the arena at least, and you can see what Kama was going for using the haunt, but that is so painful as the Spectre to just happen to die like that. It was supposed to be like, oh, I'm just gonna haunt in quickly and get a free kill, and then just come back and keep on farming. But given that their only game plan this game is get Spectre huge and Spectre wins you the game, that kind of death is a really big setback. Oh, man, and the clutch output capture. He's not going to get any experience for this round. Like success is going to pay for it with his life. He's laughing. What did he just deny them? It's, what's it? 750 experience for his death. And he gave away only 250 gold. Maybe a little bit more with the AoE, but still. Pressure on Clark. Again, though, Cogs not really helping SCCC out all that much, and SRF lays him low. Sean will be able to come in, threatens the Requiem. That is a very quick TP cancel from Silencer. And 2-for-1 turnaround up top. Yes. Fade was not expecting the Snapfire to just be sitting there in the trees. So again, they lose the core, but they get something back out of it. Aster continuing to trade pretty nicely. We've just got Silencer holding on to mid. Shadow Fiend does, well, this is still a pretty ambiguous build so far, as he's just picking up the drum next. Clark going for Diffusal, seeming like everyone's just kind of aiming for early game items. Blink BKB on the slaughter, I think, kind of tells you everything you need to know about Aster's plan here. It might even be that they're going for the full, like, presence aura effects buildings super fast in the game strat. I don't know if they need to go quite that fast. We'll see what happens. This is the first Vendetta, I believe, for Nyx Assassin, but does not find anything. Unfortunately, the hero that he can really connect with is Mars, since Kisses is on cooldown for now.
Middle tower is under attack.
Mars is elsewhere. Enchantress just holding mid, and Aster on the move again with this clockwork. Hook shot back off cooldown. Do they see anything? They're hunting for the Spectre. They get a glimpse of her, but maybe not the easiest target to bring down, and they know that Mars is also in the area. They've just caught a little glimpse of him. He's going in for this Arcane Rune. He will not be able to get it. Nice pushback with the spear, but the supports will still be able to finish the job.
Dire's middle tower
At least he
is
bottled
under
the
attack.
Arcane Rune at the end of the day.
Radiant's bottom tower
Nice
is
move.
under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
And still not really many
Dire's
plays
top
coming in
tower
from...
is under attack.
What's Spectre? What you got? Alright, so just the Manta to start with. Like success with deciding against the Blink, it looks like. He actually just wants a hyper fast BKB. I guess it makes sense. Is it even
Radiant's bottom tower
is it
under
even worth
attack.
going pipe against Snapfire ult? It does so much damage. Like I don't if you get trapped in the arena and Snapfire ult is raining on you, I think pipe is not going to save you, but a BKB is 100% going to save you. I said it during the draft that Keen's lineup right now just does nothing against BKBs. So why not just get the BKB ASAP?
Dire's top tower
Shadow
is under
Fiend,
attack.
okay. Chuan now thinking about a Shadow Blade instead. Kind of interesting. Puts a little bit of detection pressure on the enemy supports that otherwise would not be there. Okay, and Slark also just going straight BKB. So yeah, very.
Dire's top tower is
This
under
is
attack.
Dota fundamentals. This is just their team. The enemy team is bad against BKB. Let's just build a few BKBs and then go and end the game that way. And this is build for the
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
3400.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower
This creep's
has
actually so
fallen.
much damage. So Keen kind of rallying around this outpost a little bit. Gonna leave it uncapped for now, maybe lend a bit of a false sense of security to Aster, but they are not at all interested in their own jungle. They know exactly what's going on. They've been in control of the Radiant jungle for so long, and Keen might get split up here. They run into Baboka, but they haven't completely connected on this gank. Centaur Conqueror is coming forward. He gets the stomp out onto 2, and Shadow Fiend comes in to try and line up with the Requiem. He is sitting underneath the sentry ward, but he's able to walk it off. So no great loss for him there, and that was the global silence used to really no effect. This was hopefully a big push with the mech, with all of the other ultis to get this tower. They might still be able to commit for it, but you know, it's not going to be so easy as it was previously. And SCCC's got this shiny new diffusal blade that he's eager to make some use of. Could have the StarLadder and the Slark go in, and then Shadow Fiend just comes around, chills on the hill, throws out a Requiem, splits out of the way. And instead, both teams just gonna call time and go and grab a couple of bounty runes instead. But big rotation, 5 heroes mid, and they only get the
take that.
Not really not what Keen were wanting there. But they're still keeping up the pressure. They've got a nice ward here, so long as it sticks around against the Slark.
Scanning.
Shadowfiend still really wants to Requiem on some. That's a nice stun. Catches 2. SRF. Mourner's Kisses. Is that going to be enough damage? Baboka's just sidestepping it, and now Snapfire's being stunned up. Nice arena, but XXS able with that fast BKB to just walk on through it. We will end up losing Baboka. Is that like a flame for
Radiant's
popping your
middle
10-second
tower is under
BKB and
attack.
not doing anything? Or what was that tip? They really want this mid-tier 1, but Aster are not going to give it to them easily. Shadowfiend waiting for his opportunity. Hookshot comes in now. Fade splitting up the fight. Requiem lined up. They find this first kill, but it's also the clockwork going down. Just a position 4 for a position 4. Battle rages for this mid-tier 1 tower. Well, how's Spectre doing in the meantime? Spectre's just hitting creeps. Kama is executing the game plan. This is what this game is supposed to look like. He's deciding to go back for the Radiance here. Can he make his way out? Pound's not quite gonna land. Needs to be careful that Diffusal Blade is burning his mana, and now he's being amped up. Nowhere to juke, nowhere to hide. Does he have enough move speed to escape? He does not.
My dad is.
Oh man. Right as he was getting close to the relic. Opts not to buy the recipe before he dies, so shows that there's still maybe a little bit of indecision about the item choice. Though buying the recipe just feels so bad when you're less than 1,000 gold away from buying the relic. Oh, another troll. Neat. That's gonna be very happy with that magic resist. So who are they giving it to? I guess is SF gonna take it? Yeah, see what happens. Does he even have a neutral item currently? No. What else we got? What is up with these Philosopher's Stones? Why does nobody want the Philosopher's Stone? Silencer, my man. That's your item. Or even Nyx Assassin. Well, he's back in the fountain now. He can pick it up once he respawns. SCCC is just hounding Spectre. Slark is so good at just running at these heroes like Alchemist and Spec, who really just need uninterrupted time to farm up in their jungle. Not going to give them that opportunity. They're looking for this SCCC kill. Even if they get the perfect chance done there, there's no way that they get that. And now Aster with a 6k lead. Experience just trucking, win probability also moving in their favor, and all we're doing really is counting down to this this triple BKB timing. Another 1,400 gold for the Slark. Need to add another 1,500 for the Shadow Fiend, and we really need to see some. I think we need to see a little bit of spell usage from Keen. They need to keep this game in a situation where like somebody from Aster is kind of always dead or a lane is always pushed. Like there needs to be always some reason that Aster can't just go and 5-man and maul all of their towers, because if Aster are in that situation, they're just going to do exactly that. So they need to buy a little bit more time, but this Mars ult is still just sitting off cooldown. Alright, they're making the play now. 4-man rotation, looking for something. Vision only really over in the dire jungle. Did they catch a glimpse of the Clockwork there for a second? Yeah, they did. And they see a courier flying past. They know that they can't kill the Slark, so they have to look for something else. They still really, really, really want this mid-tier 1 tower. But, oh, SRF in no man's land, using the cookie like that, and Fade from downtown comes in with the hook. XXS will be able to keep on chasing, keep the lockdown going here as they dive for a little bit more. SCCC was even connecting from the side, so that's 2 dead. Aster playing some very clean Dota. That's Spec going. Okay, well,
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But this is also not a game where Spectre, you know, gets a Radiance haunt and presses R and it's just an I win button. And again, SCCC just running at people. There's really nothing that they can do about him here. BKB getting forced out from the Mars. He comes back in. Doesn't have the arena, so I don't know what he's really doing. I guess his team is backing him up now. Can they find anything? Fade's just gonna cog in the Nyx Assassin, isolated from his team. Fade's pretty tanky. Can they get him out of here? Global Silence getting popped. Looking on the backline, Shadow Fiend just popping the Requiem. The 2 supports getting focused. We do see the Silencer in complete no man's land. He's going to be brought down. Snapfire trying to channel up the ultimate, but SCCC's right up in his face. That's a 3-for-1 so far, and XXS isn't done. Looking for even a little bit more. They get the pounce down, and with that corrosive haze, it's just too much damage. Aster take a 4-for-1 team fight, find themselves right outside the Roshan pit, and they're going to waste no time heading in there to grab it. Spectre still just sort of twiddling her thumbs over in the jungle, trying to complete this Radiance. So, valiant effort, Keen, trying to take these fights 4v5, but Aster are getting a little bit too far ahead. And now Shadow Fiend with the Aegis. I think he wasn't even at risk. I saw the Shadow Fiend pick and I was like, oh, there's a lot of magical bursts. If Shadow Fiend gets ganked a bit this game and like doesn't get BKB or an Aegis, he's gonna be in some trouble. But, oh my god. I took my headphones off for a second. I wasn't listening. Oh no. Gamma just dies bottom. SCCC, his reign of terror continues. Well, I said at the beginning that were they able to shake off the losses in the major qualifier? Seems like it. Definitely seems like Aster are feeling confident, just doing whatever they want. Silencer,
Dire's
you
middle
can
tower is under
you can
attack.
see that Shadow Fiend is in his head. Like, this ward is not going to deward an observer. This ward is only to see if Shadow Fiend is right behind you and about to kill you off. Cards pushback. Did you get some stuns on the SF? Doesn't get the BKB off or anything just yet. He does have a DD. The rest of the team is coming over to help out. StarLadder making his way in, but XXS instead just going to focus on the creep wave. They're showing Slark at bottom, so they can't really take a fully committed team fight like they might want. So, okay. Now what? They still have Aegis for another 3.5 minutes. Can do really whatever they want. Spec is still working on the Radiance. Almost has it. Okay, alright, there's Radiance online. So Kama's gonna start scaling pretty hard from here, but he's got a bit of a gap to close before he's looking at anything like Shadow Fiend's net worth. SF getting a Mask of Madness. Alright. Tron is just going full pub build on this. 6. Oh, very nicely weighted out by SWC. Last moment, takes the last auto attack. So they need to put together some kind of a... They need the big wombo. They gotta pop... They gotta get in with Arena of Blood, and pop the global, and start raining down Mortimer Kisses, and then realize that all 3 cores have BKB, and it's just not gonna work. But, you know, that's the hope. That's the dream currently. Mars getting looked for. Is there a bash prime? They don't even need the bash. Considering crush ready, of course. And that's gonna be the end of this mid lane Mars. I had high hopes. There were aspirations, there were dreams, but whatever Keen Gaming were hoping for this game is not materialized. Do have some Greaves on the Snapfire, but I think she's had those for a little while now. This is also kind of a bad look when you have to play around your Spectre like this. This is not the... Whoa, Requiem? Can they save Baboka? Global coming in. Alright, Baboka's dead. Hookshot only on cooldown for another 3. They gotta get the Spectre out of here. Alpha Wolf is scouting. TP's on cooldown. Fade makes his way in. Cog's pushback will not let Kama go running along. Where does he jump to? It's over to XXS, and now back to bottom. He gets amped from top lane, and now Aster are going to use that a bot to try and find this kill. Nice Force Staff. Actually going to keep him alive, and now they get the turnaround perhaps. Shadow Fiend's in a little bit of danger. He does still have the BKB after he respawns. Slark's just going to hop on out of there. Can they do anything about the SF? Just BKB TP. Right. Well, expensive, but no great loss. Good saving plays from Keen. Yeah, having this Force Staff on the Nyx Assassin is actually saving lives. They're going for multiple Force Staffs, and they've got the key, of course. You can see why Silencer is so concerned about Slark this game. SCCC can really just do whatever he wants. Is that... he's got the full ag. So I was like, oh, where's the Blade of Alacrity? But there it is. Okay, well, he's even more of a menace now. Spec needs, like, at least 2 more items to be really relevant. Ooh, Shadow Fiend gonna... Okay, I hadn't considered that angle on the Shadow Blade, but yeah, now going back for a Silver Edge. Really nice choice. Certainly very good against the Spec. So, very heavy right-click build from Tron. Slark is level 20. Net worth, speed, win probability, painting a pretty one-sided picture.
And it's off.
Okay, get the break onto Baboka. He doesn't even have his ultimate anyways. Jump in, Cogs will be the prison, and Baboka will be fine. SCCC jumping forward, looking for a little bit more. He spots the Silencer, trying to get him out. Nice Force Staff. Was the cookie self-cast there, I think? Maybe a little bit of a misclick from SRF, but okay, they still got the Silencer out. But how do they take a fight?
Radiant's top
Ooh,
tower
Mars
is under
is
attack.
at bottom, but this is not safe. BKB TP is not gonna work. I think he looks pretty dead. Alright. The arena and the BKB, but they also have BKBs. Okay. You popped all your I guess it's only 60-second cooldown, so he's gonna have them by the time he's back up. It forces a BKB charge out of the enemy team. Kind of a nothing trade. But still, Mars dead, 19k lead. Aster just doing whatever they want on the map. Fade diving towers. Silencer is just... He's just a, like... I don't even know what analogy to use here. But he is the freest kill you have ever seen. Nice two-man stun from the Nyx Assassin, but looks like the X Assassin might have this one finished. No, Fade with the rocket flare finishes it off. SRF getting dove underneath the tier 4 towers.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Aster is now looking to claim this first lane of Rax here. We've even got an Aghanim Scepter picked up with StarLadder. Everything that he can want. There is a Deso for the Mars. No blink or any kind of initiation. Really jump in, spot the Spectre. XXS standing strong in the front lines. He's got his puddles. Backing him up. Mars gonna go looking for the arena. Perhaps hook a little bit off the mark from Fade. Chuan does need to be careful. Get back out and heal up a little bit perhaps. Roshan could respawn in 40 seconds time. So, of course, worth it to be cognizant of that. And don't throw your lead. There's bounties in a minute and a half as well. So maybe worth it. Are they close to any other items though? Not really. I guess just the Daedalus on the Shadow Fiend. So he decided against the Silver Edge at the end of the day. At this point, I don't really know if the item choices matter too much. Success stuns himself. All the 4 staffs and cookies and everything will be able to kite people away.
Radiant's bottom tower
Still not
is
getting
under
killed.
attack.
How are the BKBs? 9 seconds. I think it's about 8. And it's maybe 6 or 7. And spec item progression has just kind of come to a halt. Even with the Radiance, there's really not anywhere left on the map to be able to farm other than the handful of creeps that are arriving at your base now and then.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, of course, Outposts coming up too. So it's big injection of gold and experience for Aster in a second. Fade's going to be the one going for the pipe. XXS was not interested in it. And, yeah. I think the only way things go very differently for Keen is if the lanes somehow go better. And then, like, the Mars and Nyx and Snap can just run around killing people. But even then, it's not the easiest kills to find on these Aster heroes.
Fortune.
Ooh. That ED's gonna hurt. He can't turn around and those 1.2k crits come raining in. SRF hops up onto the high ground. Slark showing top, so Keen feeling like there wasn't going to be a hard commitment at mid, but still enough with just the 4 heroes to head up onto the high ground here. Spectre does not have Haunt Mana, needs to pop that Soul Ring. They also can't fight without the Mars, and more heroes are getting caught out. Snapfire does have the double mobility, trying to escape back to the fountain, but she's not going to make it. Grandma down. And, Aster just looking to close this one out. Not before SCCC gets a few more stacks, of course. Can you finish it? There
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
But nicely drafted, nicely executed. Keen, I like the fact that they're a little bit unorthodox. I'm always a fan of slightly weird picks, but I think both the picks and the play kind of letting them down in comparison to Aster this game. And again, that's sort of the story is sort of that Keen come in here. They come in here with some momentum
Radiant's
from
top tower is
escaping
under attack.
elimination from the major qualifiers, but Aster
Radiant's
came
top
in a
tower
much
has
better
fallen.
position overall. They were second in their group. They did lose some pretty hard series, 2-0 against eHome and IG, but still a top 4 team in the major qualifier, just kind of missing out on the qualifications. Likely the favorites for the minor qualifier, and after watching the previous series as well, I would probably have to say that I favor them. But it's still early days. This is still only game 1, though I think this one's probably in the books. Clockwork in a little bit of danger. Lincoln Crush, they will get the arena down, but again, these EKB heroes just don't care. And Fade even surviving a little bit longer. He's even got a buyback for himself. Mars can't turn back around. These crits are just way too much. SRF didn't even make it down onto the low ground, so SCCC chasing after him. Kama, it's him against the world, and the world is winning. GG is called, and it's going to be game 1 in the books in favor of Aster.
Dire victory.
Not sure what else to say, really. I think we're just going to head quickly to a break. Hopefully, lobby for game number 2 will be hosted up nice and fast. I'll give you guys a quick look at the graphs and the final scoreboard stuff if you want to have a look-see. But really, what is there to look at? Some really nice damage being done by the Clockwork. The Enchantress pick looked good, but, I mean, was that a big surprise for anybody? And you just look at this net worth at 10 minutes, and you see that the offlane StarLadder has the #1 net worth in the game. And to me, that paints a really grim picture of where the game is going. I have to say that I was surprised with how well the matchup mid went for Mars versus Shadow Fiend. I really thought that was going to be a little bit more Shadow Fiend favored, especially with the Clockwork souls from the cogs. But as it turns out, that the outcome of that lane really did not have too much of a bearing on the game as a whole. Mars got a little bit of farm, but they just couldn't crack that mid-tier 1 tower, couldn't find the team fight to make that happen, and Aster just defended with 4 or 5 every single time because Keen had a Spectre that was going to be... It's an intentional thing, it was part of the strategy, but it was always going to be pretty useless before you get those first couple of items, so... Took a gamble, didn't pay off, and Aster going to be heading into game 2 with a 1-game advantage. I'll put on some music for you guys, stick around, watch some ads, and we'll be back for game 2 in just a couple of minutes.